Hey everybody, how you guys doing today? My name is Nick, otherwise known here as Avialence, and I am back for the fall season. We're going to kick things off with a little bit of Destiny. I've got a lot to talk about with Destiny. I recorded a lot of footage last week, and after playing the alpha and the beta, this is definitely one of those games that I feel needs to be discussed here on my YouTube channel. So we did get time with the beta. I spent about 65 hours playing beta. I did a lot of PvP, which is refreshing, and a couple other things. The plan here is just to provide you with a brief overview, my initial thoughts on a lot of different elements of the game, talking about character customization, the world itself, random events, things like that, from, just, again, a brief point of view. And then I'll release some more detailed commentary across this week, focusing on PvE content, as well as some of the free roam elements in Destiny, and, kind of talking about what I'm a little disappointed about and what I'm a little frustrated with. This definitely was a great beta, and I enjoyed my time with it, but there's a lot of things that need to be discussed. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I think the first thing I want to discuss is the story itself. Now, for those of you who do not understand the entire story of Destiny, if you played the alpha, we didn't get a lot of the story, but in beta, we did receive a few additional cutscenes and a complete story playthrough of the old Russia area, which provided a lot of context. Now, essentially, there's something called the Traveler. The Traveler was found by humanity on Mars and increased our civilization years into the future. At some point between that, the Awoken came into being, and at some point between that, we created these things called Exos to help us with our expansion, as the Traveler helped us build, and these Exos became sentient and are now their own robotic race that kind of look like the robots from iRobot, but have the backstory of the Geth from Mass Effect. Again, we don't really know a lot about these things, and I really am hoping that when it comes to these races and these ideas, we'll be able to see these more fleshed out when the game's unveiled. As far as the main story, you are playing as a Guardian. The Guardians are human beings, awoken and exos that can weld the power of the Traveler, known as the Light. The darkness is basically crushing in and destroying humanity in order to get to the Traveler, and we are on the last city, literally, trying to defend it as the Traveler can no longer do so. So we are the Guardians fighting back the darkness. This is really the premise of the story. This is all we really got, and I'm trying to understand how the Guardians come into play, what a lot of the Guardian lore is, and how the different classes act. We do have the Hunter, the Warlock, and the Titan. I had experience with all three of these throughout the alpha and the beta. In the beta, I focused on a Hunter class. I really enjoyed it. I got my full cape, which I was really excited about. And the skills, I think, are something that are very well done in Destiny. So I like the idea of the skills. It has been confirmed, or semi-confirmed rather, that the maximum level is 20. So 8 out of 20 levels in the beta, that's a lot. That's a huge chunk of content, and that's something I'm really, really worried about. Initially, I was expecting 50, 60 levels, but since the game has been scaled down so much, and Bungie's been answering a lot of questions after the beta, I'm starting to become a little bit concerned. So they've confirmed that we will have 4 planets, right? That's going to be the main focus here. And these 4 planets are going to be Earth. You're going to have the Moon, Mars, and Venus. That's it. Each of these planets will have one free roam explorable area, which the free roam areas are big, and there's a lot of areas that are clearly locked off in the old Russia free roam area that we explored in the Destiny beta. And I had a lot of good fun with that area. There were random events, which I think should be a little more frequent, and a lot of content in there that I enjoyed, but I was able to outlevel very quickly. The free roam area didn't scale with me, so I was able to go through there and plow through a bunch of gray levels, which basically means that these free roam areas, after you've completed a certain level, if this is how it is in the final game, are useless to you. You will not be able to get anything from them except some collectibles, and there will clearly be a max level free roam area that you'll be farming in order to get some gear. Now, even though the maximum level is 20, they also talked about something called motes of light, I believe, and these motes are able to purchase high-end gear and also further level up your character's abilities, thus increasing your level, quote-unquote, at the end of the process. So I think it's a very interesting thing. I don't like it. I really don't. I would have much preferred a more thought-out leveling experience. All of the talents and abilities are very well thought out. Like I said, I played the Hunter, and I got to experience the Gunslinger tree, and the Gunslinger focuses on the ultimate ability, which is the Golden Gun. We also had the Blade Dancer, but that's locked at 15. So basically, you're going to have a starting class, and then you're going to be able to pick subclasses. And once you're into the subclass, you will be able to lock into that class, thus unlocking all the abilities for that specific class. I like this system. I think it works well, but I also think think it's too casual in a sense that while we do have a lot of abilities, most of these are passive. Only a few of these are active. And while some of the entry abilities like the Warlock's Blink and the Blade Master or the Hunter Blade Master's short range teleport knife seem really, really cool, I don't think they're as great as we feel they are right now in the beta, and I'm really interested how a lot of that's going to play into PvP. Speaking of PvP, I really spent a lot of my time with Destiny's PvP. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was very reminiscent to Halo 2, which I loved. Actually, so reminiscent that I recorded a ton of games, and I'm actually working on a montage right now to kind of kickstart back into YouTube, which I've had a lot of fun with. So I'm doing that montage now. It'll be released when it's ready. It's fun though. I mean, I like the idea of sniping. Again, I was playing the Hunter, so I really enjoyed it. I feel that the ultimates are still a little overpowered. Some of the vehicles are as well, which is unfortunate. I felt that the two vehicles, there was the heavy tank, which I cannot remember the name for the life of me right now, and then the lighter vehicle, which was the Pike. The Pike is an exact copy of the Ghost from Halo 2. Just looks different, but it is the exact same thing. And the heavier tank is actually the Wraith, just with a different field of view. It's not vertical anymore. It's now horizontal as far as the curvature of the weaponry. It shoots rockets instead of plasma balls, and they go a different direction. It's the same thing. I thoroughly enjoyed it, though. We got to play on 4 maps, one on Venus, which is more of a close quarters map. We also had the Mars map via the Iron Crucible, and then the Moon map, and there was an additional one on Earth. I think it was called Rusted Lands, if I'm not mistaken. When I go through the video footage and put it in the background here, we'll know. But I enjoyed all the maps. I felt they were pretty balanced. A lot of people didn't enjoy the Moon because of the vehicles, but after you learn to control the map, it's very similar to Halo 2 in the sense that you can lock down maps if you're playing with a coordinated team. I found out that when I wasn't playing with a coordinated team, it became extremely frustrating to me, but there was really not much I could do about it. Now, on that note, too, I mean, the PvP is great. I think the gear balancing's there. We have a lot of level 20 gear we got to stare at but not purchase, and a lot of interesting ships and the way the vendors work and things of that nature. It's very much... it's spiritually Halo, right? You can feel the Halo influence in the game, and that's something I can't stress enough. I enjoyed my time with the beta, but I'm still very skeptical about this game. They unveiled that, we will have those 4 planets, and this was actually unveiled today, which is, I'm recording this on the 28th of July, which is a Monday. It was revealed today in an interview with, I think it was EGM or Game Informer, I can't remember, that Bungie confirmed that there will only be those 4 planets. Those 4 planets will each have 1 free roam area. So out of the entirety of Earth, we only get to go to Old Russia. I find that extremely disappointing. And on top of that, I'd like to go out and throw the point that, we already have a season pass for additional content. It's a content pass for the first 2 expansions or whatever that will be coming out. So we'll be paying for each additional area. It's not like these are going to be free expansions or free updates like we've come to expect from these MMO-type worlds. So you're going to have to pay to extend your experience in Destiny. This is something that I'm not really happy with. I really don't enjoy the idea of having to pay for additional content in an MMO-like game, and I feel that this is going to be a little bit of a downside when Destiny does fully release. The fact that I was able to hit level 8 within 3-4 hours, and then past that after getting to like level 20, I'm assuming, unless of course they increase that experience, right, where you're going to have to go from one point to another, make it a little slower, right, you'll be able to hit max level within 20-24 hours, and then from there you're going to be doing a lot of grinding, PvP gear, moat gear, things of that nature. Even the Iron Crucible gear, I mean, it looked pretty easy to get based off of the Crucible ranking. There's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about with Destiny, but we still don't know a lot about it. But overall, I mean, I enjoyed the beta. It was a lot of fun. I played a lot of the beta, and I've got a lot of great footage to share with you guys, but it was interesting, again, I was on the Xbox, I played the beta on a friend's PS4, but I think it was really interesting that they made it free to all players the last weekend. Obviously, it was stress tested even more, but I personally think that it should have just been that way from the get-go, right? I'm kind of done with paying for these beta access games. Arcade, I'm talking to you, which we'll have that conversation later this week. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed the beta, and I hope you guys did too. If you have any experiences you want to share, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I know this is my first video back for 3 months, and I'll be explaining that later this week. But I'd love to hear about your Destiny experiences, guys, so share them in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like button to help me out there, and if you enjoyed this video and haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I'll have more Destiny content coming to you throughout the week. We're going to be talking about PvE content in more detail. I also want to talk about character customization and backstory, as well as how the PvP of Destiny really feels. So I'll be releasing all that, plus a montage later this week, and I hope you guys will stick around to check out that content. Again, my name is Nick, otherwise known here as Avialence. Thank you guys so much for listening to this little bit of commentary impressions, and I will talk to you guys in the rest of the videos this week.